Happy Sunday. You look great this morning. We're ready to begin. So take a deep breath as we center in together here in this place where we join our community, where we join in the presence of God. Here in this place, we come together, feeling the presence of God. Here in this place, one with each other, knowing who we really are. Then we are called to carry our light and shine it all over the world. Here in this place, we find acceptance. Here in this place, we find connection. Here in this place and song, we find the presence of God. We find the presence of God.
I just love us. I love this place. Here in this place. What a beautiful place it is. Good morning, friends. Welcome to our community of love and light. This morning, it's May Day, the 1st of May, Beltane. That means we're the spring equinox, summer solstice. We're right here at the midpoint. Woo, you can go either way. I'm going right down the middle. All right, welcome. So glad to have you here this morning. And my name is Susan Armstrong, and I have the great pleasure to assist Reverend Karen Shepard as your service coordinator today. Yay, Miss Karen. This is a lovely woman. Oh, my goodness. She's been a prayer chaplain, a licensed Unity teacher, and in 2014 became an ordained Unity minister operating Good Shepherd Ministries. She maintains an active role as a guest speaker, workshop leader, and a wedding and funeral officiant in local Unity Ministries. We're so happy to have her back with us today. Welcome, Karen. And we'd like to extend a special welcome to our live stream viewers. Hello out there. Whether you're watching from the next city or across the globe, we know that you are with us and we feel your presence and hold you in prayer. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we're about transforming lives, both in our Sunday morning experience and throughout the week. We're excited to offer you so many opportunities to expand your awareness of God and share in community. And you'll find a list of events and classes in your bulletin insert. We are highlighting a couple today. And yay for the bulletins. On Saturday, May 14th, Diane DeFrancesco and Michelle Payne will present Opening the Doors to a New Vision. EFT, meditation, and experiential exercises are all part of this vision board workshop. There'll be a special healing circle facilitated by Donna Van Osten on Sunday, May 15th after service. Everyone is invited for sound healing, Reiki, and prayer. And it's a pleasure to call up Joy Smith for an announcement about our youth and family ministry.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. So I'm Joy. So it's about a year ago, not quite a year ago, that Scott stepped away and I stepped into his big shoes that I've been trying to fill. My feet still got a ways to grow, I have to tell you that, to fill these shoes. Before I say anything else, I want to say thank you to all the people that have stuck with it this year, this first year with me. I've hit a few bumps, of course, along the way as I'm learning how to do this, so I want to say thank you. I have some volunteers that stayed the whole year, I have some that did a little bit here and there, but thank you to everyone that did that. And the next thing I'm going to say, I want to ask for a few more volunteers. So our program has been growing. We've had some old people coming back. I don't mean old, I mean kids that have been here before and new kids coming, and we've been doing like a one-room schoolhouse. We're just on the verge of maybe bumping into 2 groups. When that happens, I'm going to need a few more volunteers. I would think that I need at least 4 more volunteers in order to do that as we kind of bump into that. I've got a couple boys itching to maybe go into Uniteens, but we don't have every week with a lot of these kids. So anyway, if you think you might be that person, there's some clipboards in the back with these on it. I've also stapled a business card with my home email and my home phone number if you want to talk to me about that, how that goes. We pretty much ask for 1 Sunday a month for the year. Everybody doesn't make it for the whole year, and we totally understand that. Or also this summer, we're going to be doing a lot of artsy, craftsy stuff. Diane Spence gave us some wonderful ideas. We're going to make a kids' kindness garden. She showed us where we can do it. So if you want to do something like one time, come in. I think Jack's going to come in and do something one time. We'd love to have you. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, the youth and family ministry. Woo, it's so fun back there. All right. So, any detailed information on any of these things, please check our website or pick up a flyer as you leave. So let's all stand and sing our celebration song.
Well, we have new music for a new series, so I hope you're going to really say it and mean it. Let the change begin. So I'm going to get us started, and then you will know when to come in. We cannot change the world we see till change begins in you and me. We change the world around us when the change begins within. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within. If you weren't ready before, here we go. We cannot change the world we see till change begins in you and me. We change the world around us when the change begins within. So let the change begin. Let the change begin. You got it. Let the change begin within. You know this part. Here we go. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within. The lesson from the willow tree is strength in flexibility. When nothing seems to go my way, it's time to learn to sway. So let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within. You sound like you mean it. Here we go. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within. We got one last time. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within. That was great.
That was cool. Please remain standing. Yeah. And together let us repeat the affirmation. As I allow God to express through me in my daily life, change happens easily and gracefully for me. Thank you. Please be seated.
My name is Camden, and the daily word for today is joy. And the affirmation is, I carry joy in my heart. My many happy experiences and memories lead me to feel joyful, but I know they are not the source of my joy. One of my divine gifts, joy, is part of my spiritual identity, as close to me as my next breath. Joy wells up and spills over within me when I bring my awareness to my spiritual nature and my oneness with all good and all life. It is an attitude I hold in mind and a feeling in my heart. The happiness I feel in life depends on my allowing my inner wellspring of joy to come forth. I nurture my joy by maintaining a regular prayer practice that enhances my awareness of God and by making time for the things that make me happiest. I go into the world grateful for the joy that resides within me, my gift to share generously. The scripture for today is from Isaiah chapter 55, verse 12. For you shall go out in joy and be led back in peace. Let us repeat the affirmation together. I carry joy in my heart. Thank you.
So now settle into your chair and take a deep breath as we center into our time of meditation and prayer. I will surrender. As soon as you feel comfortable, please join me. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free as I continue walking in this mystery. I will surrender. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. I will surrender every moment, every
Okay, let us bow our heads if you feel comfortable doing so as we enter into this time of meditation and letting go from the beginning. We know that change is inevitable. Nothing's going to stay the same. So we work today to become aware of where we resist and where we block ourselves. So even though we know that the peace of God lies within us, there are times when we are drawn away from that peace. Perhaps we may feel challenged by life's circumstances or overwhelmed by responsibilities. If we wish to return to the peace of God, we needn't go looking for it outside ourselves. I need only take a moment to remember and enter into the secret place of the Most High. Jesus went apart from his followers to pray and center himself. Going apart can simply mean changing thinking. I quiet my mind and feel the calmness of spirit. I rest in the silence for a moment. When my thoughts return, I allow gratitude and appreciation to fill my mind and heart, reconnecting me with God's peace at the center of my being. And scripture for that reading is, I am centered in the peace and love of God as I am guided through any changes. And for this we give thanks. So let's take a moment to take that in. Centered in the peace of God. And we take a breath in, release it, and come back into this time and place, knowing that we can go there anytime. It is always available for us, and we can rest assured that for this we give thanks. Amen. Coming back all the way back. Thank you.
Let's stay in this restful, centered, relaxed time with God as we join in prayer. Good morning, dear fellow seekers of truth. Let us go upstairs to the upper room and sit before our loving Mother, Father, God. If you are comfortable, may my words be your words. Dear God, you are all good and everywhere present. You created us and everything we see and all the things that we do not see. And it is good and very good. You are the source of our every need. May we open every gift that you send to us each day. May we appreciate all the lessons that each day brings, each moment of beauty, each hug, each smile. God, we are your basketball team. May we know how to advance, pause for prayer, pivot, and create. May we shout for joy as the crowd cheers, as we give ourselves fully to the glorious embrace of life. How lovely it is to be relaxed, loving, and fluid, able to change as you direct us, able to turn to you to navigate our journey. What is ours to do right now, dear God? How may we align with your will? Thank you for our spiritual growth, our maturity as holy souls, our ability to suspend and release hurt or anger, and to speak in love, see in love, be love. We take this time now, dear God, to pray for others. We know they are divine, filled with power, love, and wisdom, good health, wealth, and joy. We say their names into this holy circle, and we bless them now, knowing how deeply you love them. Please say the names of those you would bless aloud or in the quiet of your heart. God, there is no spot where you are not. If we ask you, the answer will come. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for adoring us. Thank you for sending streams of well-beings to us every day. We appreciate your company, your grace, and the blessing of joy your presence evokes in our heart. Now gently open your eyes and join me in saying the May Community Prayer, Change Gracefully. When change brings feelings of fear, I pause and breathe into the present moment. In this present moment with you, God, I remember I am divine, and within my divine nature, I have all the power and resilience I need to handle any situation gracefully. We as a congregation gently sweep away any negative concerns about our dynamic and loving spiritual leader's arrival, and we say together, joyously, I am affirming that the right minister is drawn to our congregation, and our congregation is drawn to this right minister in perfect divine order, and I am grateful. And we all are being changed into his likeness from one degree of glory to another. 2 Corinthians 3:13. My name is Marilyn Velkerding. It is an honor to lead prayer this morning. Susan Armstrong and I will be available to pray with you after service in the prayer sanctuary.
Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everyone must change. No one stays the same. The young become the old. Mysteries do unfold, 'cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure. Except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Winter turns to spring, a wounded heart will heal, but never much too soon. Yes, everything must change. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold, 'cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. up the sky, and music makes me
Thank you very much. From the moment that I got the theme for this month and what I was supposed to talk about, I played every version of that song that I could find. And there are many versions of it. Some are slow and peaceful, and some are kind of raucous, and some are jazzy. So anytime you see that song, and I even printed out the words to it, and I thought, you're onto something here. John Maxwell, who is a writer of religious materials, if you've taken any of the Unity classes, you may have run into books by John Maxwell and studied them. And he says that change is inevitable, but growth is optional, which speaks to the nature of change. Now, we know, as the song says, everything changes, and it's inevitable. So if it's inevitable and things are going to change, why do we resist? Because we don't want to leave a spot that we feel we're comfortable in, even though it may not be very comfortable, but it's what we know. So we go through this not wanting to change, and we put up resistance, and we want things to stay the same, no matter what. So my scripture for today is, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, Romans 12:2. And as you know, I always talk about the 12 powers. So the power for this month is our power of power. And that sounds kind of silly, so they named it dominion. We have dominion over what we do. And as we know, each one has a place, a location in the body assigned to it, and the one for power is our throat. So you ever find yourself kind of choked up, or you have a cough and you're hoarse? Sometimes it manifests in hoarseness, and that is sometimes a sign of resistance. You know, we use our voice to stand up for us, for ourselves, and to stand up for others. And sometimes we get stuck in that position. So our color is purple, and the location is the throat, the back of the throat, or the voice box. So to affirm, I claim power now. I use power to control my thoughts, words, and feelings to master divine ideas. And principle number 5 is through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. Now, this is just an aside, but I was in a workshop in Detroit last Saturday, and Shad Groverland, I don't know if you're all familiar with him, he is the new CEO of Unity. And he did the 5 principles in reverse order. So we started with number 5 and we went through. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, it took me long enough to learn them, 1 through 5. Now I got to go 5 through 1, make 5 number 1. But anyway, that's just an aside, and it's an interesting something to think about, but we are not going to do that today. That's a topic for another day. Louise Hay, how many of you remember Louise Hay? Oh, yeah. I had she was started out in the 80s, and I had all of her tapes and her music and her affirmations, and she had one called Opening Doors. And she would speak on these, she would do affirmations, and then there was a musician by the name of Joshua Leeds. Now, I don't know where Joshua Leeds is now. I didn't have time to look him up. But they would do these songs, and they had this little sing-songy change, and then it was open doors, doors, opening doors, closing doors. I am safe. And I'm like, what? I am safe. But all this going on and I'm safe. But anyway, I would listen to it over and over. And then the other day I found it. It's on a cassette, an old-fashioned thing called a cassette that these children don't know anything about. And I played it on my cassette player, another thing that these children don't know anything about. And I went through, and yeah, that's good, but I don't know about being safe. But we have to learn to be safe when things are going on in our life. So to quote David Foster Wallace, everything I ever let go of had marks all over it. And that's the resistance. We don't want to change. Now, it may be a pile of garbage that we're in, but that's comfortable somehow. And, everybody does that. So a more effective way to deal with the changes, too, and I loved her message last week, Karen Drucker. She says, be gentle with yourself. Now, Karen Drucker is my new Louise Hay, just to let you know. So I listened to Karen Drucker a lot, and I just loved it when they said that she was going to be your speaker. And some awesomely awesome things happened for me this week. I don't know about you, but some awesomely awesome things did happen. Okay, the choice is ours. So we can work with it, we can continue to fight it, we can create anxiety within or face it and work to accept it. The choice is ours. It's not easy, but it is possible. And we do have moments when we don't feel safe. So we have to go within and ask for safety as we go through this. After we emerge from a process of change, we face a void. And it was brought to mind a phrase that was used right here in this space in 2014 when you welcomed your new minister, Reverend Joanne. And you talked about the void that had been left from the departure of Reverend Barbara Smith, her retirement, and then to the selection of your new minister. So now Reverend Iyanla Van Zant refers to this time as In the Meantime, which is also the title of her book on the subject. The meantime is a time of anxious questioning, wondering, doubting, and impatience regarding what may be healed. I remember Laverne saying, well, we went through and we thought, well, maybe we don't need a minister. I remember her saying that. I have a good memory, and that's sometimes a double-edged sword. But anyway, also Ellen Davenport, who is the vice president of publishing at Unity School, wrote a book called In the Hallway. So in the hallway is that period of time in which you have let go of one thing or something has left, sometimes not voluntarily, but something has left. But then in the meantime or in the hallway, you're looking forward to what's in that next door. And you're standing outside and you're waiting. And you can relate this to if you have a job interview. And you're waiting for the other person to complete their time, and then you go in to complete yours. Well, you don't know what's on the other side of that door. You don't know what they're going to say or what they're going to do. So we have to get used to that. The meantime, or in the hallway, is a time of work. It's the 9 to 5 of our life to which we bring all that we have studied, learned, been told, understand, and recognize about ourselves and our life. It's a time of strengthening that knowledge so that it can work through us and for us. It's not an enemy. It's not your enemy. Change is not your enemy. And sometimes we treat it as though it is the enemy. No, just go away. Go away. I like things the way they are, even though you may not like things the way they are. But it's just that idea of knowing that it's there. So in the meantime, we land, we see it coming, we run frantically for a while, and then we finally say, okay, I don't like it, but I'm willing to deal with it. And we know that willingness is the first step that we take. You have to be willing. I had a friend of mine who always says, I am willing to be willing to forgive, or I'm willing to be willing to whatever. So just that willingness is what we need in order to deal with change. Willingness is a character developing experience into a soul enriching one or soul enhancing one. Being in the meantime means dealing with all the pieces of the experience that we don't like, but are at least willing to understand. So it begins with our willingness. Our power of understanding is another key, a ticket through the meantime. The meantime is about pumping up the volume of love that we are willing to give and to receive. When we are in the midst of the meantime or in the hallway, it may appear that we are standing on shaky ground. And sometimes I remember one minister, Reverend Johnny Coleman, she used to say, sometimes you have to have an earthquake in your life. You have to shake things up. And isn't that true? Sometimes we do. And sometimes, and it's not always we want that, but after the shaking is over, we can look at what good came out of it. The meantime is grounded in truth. The truth of who we are, the truth about what we do, want, see, know, and don't know. In the midst of the meantime experience, there is the truth about our ability to recognize each of these things. The truth ultimately determines how we make it through whatever we're going through. In the meantime, we engage in a holy healing process that our soul signed up for, because we know at the deepest level, or should know, that love is the only way to get what we really want. In the meantime, we will have to work through our stuff. That's a nice way of putting it. Work through our stuff. Okay. So we are in the meantime. How do you know if you're in the meantime? If you are confused, angry, disappointed, frustrated about something that has happened in life. You may have been fired, hope not, left, hope not, divorced, hope not, had surgery, or been released from prison. Not just a physical prison, but sometimes we have a prison within our own mind. So things shake up and they have to change. You're in the meantime if you feel anxious, numb, or just generally wiped out. Just so tired you can't get up and do anything. Now, if you're in rage, depression, seeking vengeance or revenge, if we are seeing red, black, or green at the thought of a particular person or situation, we are not in the meantime, we're in a valley. So bring yourself up out of that valley. The valley represents an extreme state of victimhood. And Michael Beckwith talks about this a lot. It is a very different experience than being in the meantime. When in the meantime we are hurt, but we are not blaming anyone else unless we are in the basement. We know that we are in the basement when we want to feel better by any means necessary. So where do you go from the basement? Nowhere to go but up. So we are willing to forgive, and we are willing to acknowledge our past, our part in what happened, because believe it, little innocent us does have a part in what happens. And we look at that, and many programs teach us to look at that. When they were doing, I can't think of the name of the program right now, the Loving Course. The Loving Course taught us to do that. Jan Lieber, if she's here, or if she's watching, hi Jan. They taught us in the Loving Course that we play a role in what happens to us sometimes. And that's not to feel blame or anything, or guilt. We are confused, but we have not pulled the covers up over our head, refusing to come out until someone or something has its head ripped off. In the meantime, we ask ourselves the question, what next? Just like you asked yourself the question, what's next? What's this new minister going to be like? How are we going to change and grow under this new person? So what is next? And as it turned out, from my point of view, it seems like it was a wonderful experience. So remember to trust the process, and remember unity principle number 2, which was in his iteration of it last week. I don't remember which one it was. But anyway, we are worthy and can be trusted because we know what to do. Okay, so what do we do when navigating the change? The meantime, in the hallway, support yourself. Not depend on someone else, but you can support yourself. You, we, I deserve a kind word, a good thought, a loving gesture every now and then. Give them to yourself. And Susan knows Reverend Paulette. Reverend Paulette, for her 60th birthday, is going to treat herself every month to some new experience or to a new trip or to something that she's already wanted to do. So I would say that is an example of supporting yourself. Honor yourself. Stop criticizing, judging, denying, and second-guessing what you feel and who you are. Yesterday at the car wash, I went through the car wash, and I didn't do it exactly correctly, but I won't tell you what happened. But I was so embarrassed, number one, and I felt stupid. And I started to beat up on myself. Wait a minute. Is the world going to end because you didn't exactly do it right? No. So I was able to leave there and go on about my business, although I'm not going back there. Okay? No, you're not going to be pointing and laughing at me. So anyway, fortify yourself. Fortify yourself by getting lots of rest. Eat good, healthy foods. Spend quiet time alone. And don't forget to have some fun. Because playing is a big part of the good life. So even when we're in this state of going from the present to whatever is to come, we can still have some fun. So I'm sure Reverend Paulette is going to have fun doing what she's doing. You know, and we can do that on a smaller level too. You know, sometimes, what a selfish thing to do. Take yourself out to lunch. I do it. I take other people to lunch. Other people take me to lunch. That's one of the things that I enjoy. Commit yourself. Take some part of each day and use it to take one step toward accomplishing a daily, weekly, or monthly goal. Love yourself. Look in the mirror and say, I love you. And the first time you try this, you may cry. You know? I don't anymore because I've been doing it for so long. But love yourself. Go to the mirror and look in there and say, wow, I love you. You know? You beautiful, gorgeous creature on earth, child of God. I love you. You are the one that the world is waiting for. We are the ones that the world is waiting for. You are so precious to life. You must make it a priority to let yourself know that you are loved, needed, and wanted by God. You know that each of us plays a role. Each of us is a piece of the puzzle. So if you're missing, can the puzzle be complete? Breathe. Breathe through it. Reverend Paulette talks about breathing a lot. And I can just say through some traumatic experiences I've been through a couple, believe it or not. And what I did one day, and sometimes after it's all over and you think back, you may feel guilty or have some remorse or have some regret. And it's gone. You know, it is what it is. It's gone. But you may maybe feel that way. So whenever I'd start to feel that way, I'd take out a sheet of paper and I would write down all the beautiful things that happened since that change after I'd gone through it. So the people I'd met, I found unity. I found unity teachings. I went through and I did the licensed teacher program and the ministerial program. And all these wonderful things that happened. People that I met that I'm still friends with. I have a friend who was living in San Francisco, and she had a shop on Fisherman's Wharf. And I got to work in that shop one week when I was out there visiting her. So that, and then we're still friends, and that's been since the 80s, but we are still friends. She has since relocated to Rochester, New York, and what we do every so often, every year or two, we meet each other halfway. And we have lunch, and we talk, and we have a good old time. The last time we went to this place that's been on PBS that sells pies. So, you know, it had no business with the pie, all that sugar, but anyway, it was good. So we did that, and we continue to do it, and we stay in touch after all those years. I took classes, academic and those geared toward personal growth. I took Reiki. I took the tapping. I did that for my own personal growth. And what I ended up doing is I use it mostly on myself. Like this morning, I had gotten up in the middle of the night, because sometimes I do that, and I will do something that I'm working on. So instead of laying here in the bed and not sleeping, get up and do something. So that's what I did. And then when I got back to bed, I still didn't sleep, didn't go to sleep right away. So I did the Reiki, and I did the tapping, and I was able to calm down, and I was able to sleep until 6 o'clock, which is the normal time I get up anyway. So illness also changes things. I remember Palm Sunday. Some of you know what happened with my husband, and I had to go speak someplace other than here. And when I got back home, I was looking for him. Where are you? What did you do? Why are you hiding from me? And then I go in the living room, and he's under the dining room table. I go in the dining room, and he's under the dining room table, passed out. So I had to call 911. We had to get him to the hospital. It took him a while to revive him. But he's okay now, and we're okay. And we're having to adjust to the changes that illness brings for people. You can't run and jump and do the things that you used to do sometimes. Now, yesterday, he was on his head to go out and cut the grass. And I'm like, well, it's not going anywhere. I don't think it is anyway. I've never seen it fly. No, I got to get out here and cut the grass. So the whole time I'm looking out the window, making sure he's okay, because I would never tell him not to. That's not good either. So those are some of the things that you can do to help yourself to go through change. Okay, I'm going to do the spiritual practice now. Is that okay? We can do the spiritual practice. How many of you are going through a change right now? And I know somebody in here is. Don't lie and say you're not. Everybody's going through a change. So pick one thing that you want to work on this week. How do you want to handle that change? And I used it, what they call in Toastmasters, the power of 3. So I came up with 3 things. Took me a while to do that, because 3, I want to do 33. But anyway, we come up with 3. So first of all, acknowledge it. Don't spiritual bypass. Do we know what spiritual bypassing is? Spiritual bypassing is a superficial way of glossing over problems in a way that might make us feel better in the short term. But then what's going to happen later on? It's going to come roaring back and hit you in the face. So no spiritual bypassing. It doesn't solve anything. It just leaves the problem to linger. It can sometimes be difficult to spot because it is often very subtle. I had a friend who used to talk about a friend of hers who was a hoarder. And this friend would go through her house, and, things were everywhere. Not unlike mine, by the way. But I'm working on it. And she would walk by and she would say, divine order, divine order, divine order. It's all in divine order, divine order, divine order, divine order. And then when she got back, it was the same. So that's spiritual bypassing, okay? So accept that you're going through something. You know, don't try to pretend it's not happening. That's not helpful. Okay, and affirm. Use your power of dominion, your power of power, to create affirmations around it and repeat them often. And above all, be gentle with yourself. You know, as Karen Drucker says, I just love that song. I will be gentle with myself. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me. Be gentle with yourself. So I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that you have a good time. I hope that you have benefit from doing this spiritual practice, and then we'll see what happens. Namaste, and thank you very much.
Everything has its season, everything has its time. Show me a reason and I'll soon show you a rhyme. Cats fit on the windowsill, children fit in the snow. Why do I feel I don't fit in anywhere I go? Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky. Every man has his daydreams, every man has his goals. People like the way dreams have of sticking to the soul. Thunderclouds have their lightning, nightingales have their song. And don't you see, I want my life to be something more than long. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky. So many men seem destined to settle for something small, but I won't rest until I know I'll have it all. So don't ask where I'm going, just listen when I'm gone. And far away you'll hear me singing softly to the dawn. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky.
This morning's service has been filled with prayer and meditation, music, and the wisdom of that message with gentleness and grace. All of that inspires us to be filled with gratitude and joy. In that consciousness, we turn now to the spiritual practice of generosity as you share your financial gifts. As you invest in Unity Spiritual Center through your generous giving, your investment multiplies and combines with the generosity of others. Together, we are uplifting the lives of one another and of those you see weekly in service, as well as countless others who join us online and throughout the week. By investing in our beloved community, you help pave the way for God, our source, to richly provide spiritual sustenance and support. We are so grateful for your mindful giving. If you're sharing your gift and service, please hold it in your hands. If you give with a credit card, including the text to give or the square, please hold your gift in your heart. And we bless these offerings as we affirm together. My good is assured as I rejoice in divine abundance.
We wrote a new song for you, so feel free to jump in as soon as you get it. You can stand when the offering comes by, but in the meantime, you can just do this. We got a string. Everybody can do this if you want to. Here we go. I'm keeping my eyes wide open to the possibilities. I'm keeping my eyes wide open through the fears. I'm keeping my eyes wide open even when I don't know how. I'm keeping my eyes wide open every day. We have no trouble sleeping when trouble comes along. Wake me when it's over is our theme. There's gold in every circumstance. If we could only see, life will shake you up and wake you from the dream. I'm keeping my eyes wide open to the possibilities. I'm keeping my eyes wide open through the fears. I'm keeping my eyes wide open even when I don't know how. I'm keeping my eyes wide open every day. It doesn't always look the way you think it should, but things are just the way that they should be. So savor it, don't waste it. Every moment is a gift. Freedom comes from trusting what you see. I'm keeping my eyes wide open to the possibilities. I'm keeping my eyes wide open through the fears. You got it. I'm keeping my eyes wide open even when I don't know how. I'm keeping my eyes wide open every day. I'm keeping my eyes wide open every day. That's right. I'm keeping my eyes wide open every day. Oh, yeah. You sounded great. Please be seated.
Loving that, keeping my eyes. It's going to stick with you, too. You're going to be doing it later, tomorrow, all week. So, yeah, thank you, Bonnie and Jerry and all of our music team. All right, I've lost my place. I was having so much fun. So, we recognize God as our source and dedicate these gifts and prayers to the living, loving, greater vision boldly and with courage. We see the center and each giver phenomenally blessed as a channel through which God's good flows and those prayers answered. And so it is. Amen. Unity Spiritual Center gives a portion of our offering to several other organizations, including a special one we select each month. This month we'll be giving 2% of our offering to the Greater Cleveland chapter of the National Alliance of Mental Illness. NAMI provides a range of free support to people with serious mental illness and their family members. And so, this is the first Sunday of the month, and it means it's Birthday Sunday. So if you are a lovely Mayflower, come on up here and let's give you a singing too. friends. God bless. God bless. So thanks for joining us this morning, and a special thank you to any new guests, both with us live here and on live stream. We're so grateful for your presence this morning. This is a reminder that it is the first in the series of sacred circles presented by our prayer chaplains. You can join me at 7 o'clock tomorrow for mantra, mudra, and meditation with the gong. Back in the back corner is a table that you can sign up as a host. We're starting Gourmets for God, so the gals are back there ready to take your names, and let's get that started. Today is also our day for the children to be here, and we have change for kids back at the hall, so drop some change in that wonderful opportunity to support our youth and family ministry. Everyone's welcome in the community room for fellowship. Next week is Eyes Wide Open, and our guest speaker and musician will be Bonnie Chase. So won't that be a blast? So please, let's stand and sing our closing songs, and we'll see you all next week.